The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation or Stewart Title. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title is here to inform, entertain, and inspire you. Host Bill Napick from Stewart Title will talk with guests about what really matters when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title starts right now. Here's your host, Bill Napick.
And welcome to the show, everyone. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Napick, and we welcome you to the show. We have a great show as always. This is where America tunes in to hear great real estate talk and, most of all, interesting people. So you can be listening in San Francisco, California, Washington, D.C., Kingwood, Texas, the Woodlands, Houston, Texas, anywhere. We know you're going to enjoy the show because we always have interesting people, and we sure do today. As always, we are sponsored by Stewart Specialty Insurance Services and their president, Tom Carpentier, leading the company in a magnificent way. So we're very happy about that. So if you have insurance needs, home, auto, any kind, commercial insurance, you can call upon them. In fact, you'll be hearing from one of their representatives later in the show. And today, we always try to weave in a theme on the show. And today we talk about preparation. We know in life, no matter what we do, certainly in real estate or anything else, most of the job of doing something is preparing for it and having that proper preparation. So that's very important. So we have today on the show Sandy Brabham. She is with Keller Williams Realty Northeast. In addition, Mary Herrera. She is with On Q Financial, so we're happy about that. And also, Mr. Rob Cook with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Anderson Properties, and the Real Estate Rat Pack. In addition, with Stewart Specialty Insurance Services, Mr. Kent Adams. And we're so honored that Mr. Steve Sheeney with Stewart Title in the Kingwood office has brought our first guest. She is here, Sandy Brabham with Keller Williams. Sandy, thank you, and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Bill, for having me.
We're so glad you're here. Give us an idea, Sandy, about your company, Keller Williams, up there in Kingwood, right?
Yes, sir. Well, I am a full-time real estate agent at Keller Williams Realty Northeast. Keller Williams is the biggest real estate franchise company in the United States by agent count. I started my business in 2009. My primary area is Kingwood and Atascocita, but I've had clients all over the greater Houston area. In 2013, one of our top real estate agents in the office, Tracy Montgomery, asked me to be a part of her team. And so now we have four full-time agents, a full-time assistant, and a marketing manager.
And you know, when you mentioned Kingwood, I love that they have that motto that just comes to my mind, the livable forest. That's what they call it, right?
Absolutely. It's beautiful in Kingwood. Lots of stuff to do.
I would think that's a great attraction for people that want to move to the Kingwood area. They have those trees, and it's just beautiful up there.
Yes, it is. And we're right there on Lake Houston, so plenty of fun family stuff to do.
And you live in Kingwood?
Yes, I do.
Let me ask you, what is it that you love about Kingwood?
I love the fact that everything is just right there at your fingertips. You've got shopping, you've got restaurants, you can take your family out on the boat. You know, we've got the area in Houston where you can just right there in Kingwood eat and look out at the Lake Houston. And
right now, Sandy, as we think about the marketplace all over Houston, and it's been very, very good, and I think there's some areas that are slowing down. How is it right now in the Kingwood area?
Well, right now it's still a seller's market. The sellers are getting top dollar for their homes. So, if you're thinking about, putting your house on the market, it would be a great time to do it right now.
Still a good time to sell the house, right?
Absolutely.
Now, as we're talking today about being prepared, we think about the idea of preparation. As someone prepared, what advice do you give people when you're on a listing appointment or when it's where they say, hey, Sandy, we want to list our house with you? How do you counsel them to be prepared to sell their home?
Absolutely. Well, it's a very competitive market right now for sellers. So I would say, the most important thing is to make sure that you are ready. When that buyer walks through the door, they don't want to start picking things out that's wrong with your house. You need to, get your house ready from the very beginning, from the moment they drive up in front of your house, your curb appeal, making sure, that their first impression is going to be their lasting one. When they walk in the door, make sure you've decluttered your home. Any type of, maintenance that needs to be done, even the smallest things like touch-up paint. You really need to be, proactive on that.
And certainly that's where the real estate professional comes into play, because you do this every day. So I think that now more than ever, people really need to listen to the realtor and take their advice and just do it to get the job done.
Correct. Absolutely.
Because you're doing this all the time. And when as far as some of the things that you do as a realtor to prepare for that listing, give people an idea of the complexion of that. What's that like?
Well, I definitely need to do my research before I get to the home to make sure that I know what their home needs to sell for and what the other homes in the neighborhood are selling for. And then also we do free staging tips. I walk through the house and tell them, here's what you need to do. Take down your family photos so that the buyer that walks through your house can picture their family, living in your home. Just make it to where when that person walks in, they can see themselves purchasing and enjoying your home as their own.
Now, the whole idea is to make it easy and have that home attractive so that they want it.
Absolutely.
Now, from the buyer's perspective, as people call you up, buyers, we're thinking about living in Kingwood, or we're thinking about the area that you're serving there. What do you tell buyers? How should they prepare?
Well, first of all, I tell them they need to make sure that they're pre-approved. That's the most important thing. Reach out to a lender. If you don't have one, we have, lenders that we recommend. The most important thing, making sure that you're pre-approved. You don't want to start looking for homes in a budget that maybe you can't afford. And the other thing I tell them is to make a list. Make a list of your wants and your needs. These are the things I wish I had, and this is the things I absolutely must have. Because to me, it's more important for me, up front, I try to interview my buyers as well and find out, what are you looking for? I'd rather ask them, 500 questions and only have to show them 5 homes versus asking them 5 questions and showing them 500 homes. So it takes the frustration away from both of us if we're up front, just get all the questions out of the way and what are you looking for?
Indeed. Now, do you prepare them? What if they have their heart set on it? Let's take the 5 homes that we're going to look at, or these people are going to look at. Do you prepare them? What if that one home that they really like, they can't get it, or someone else offered more or something like that? How do you prepare them for that? Well, okay, that one may.
Well, I tell them if they really love the home, they don't need to waste time, because in today's market, especially if you're in a desired area, then you're going to have a lot of times multiple buyers, bidding for the same home. So I tell them, get in there, give them your best bid right out of the door.
And sometimes when we're talking about a very desirable area, are there times that you might advise them this is the one to offer more than the list price?
Yes, absolutely.
How do you determine that? That seems that's a tricky.
Well, I don't want to encourage my buyers to offer more than the house is worth, but so I'll run comps for them and let them know first of all if I think the house is priced correctly. Sometimes maybe go a little bit over the list price, but not too far to where it's not going to appraise for the value of the contract. Interesting.
Now, as far as all the things you have to do when you, as a realtor, again, man, you guys are taking calls on the weekends and evenings. There's almost no rest, is there?
That's very true. We are 24/7, but it's enjoyment because we also have flexibility. We can schedule our appointments around other activities in our lives.
And when I think about the things that you're doing, both for buyers and sellers, and also that's not to mention all the things that you do to prepare to be that professional that they want and need as far as training. And you're talking about Keller Williams. A lot of firms around the city have great training, but Keller Williams is also one of those that's known for their training.
Yes, it is. Keller Williams, we are very well known for the training, and not just for new agents, but, for ongoing veteran agents in our office. We have people and, coming in weekly, teaching us the new things that are going on with technology and, just different areas of the real estate market.
Seems like you're preparing all the time.
I am, absolutely.
That's exciting, but that makes it fun. And I think as we prepare from the educational standpoint, when we're learning, I think learning is fun and staying on top of these things.
Yes, I agree, because there are so many real estate agents, even in the Houston area. I think, there's
a lot. I know that.
Yes. So when someone's trying to choose a real estate agent, it's important for you to know your area and to know your business and to do a good job of it, because there's just so many out there that they don't have to use you.
And what would you tell someone that is in the thinking about either being in the real estate profession or someone that's just completing their education for the credentials to be a realtor? What would you advise someone? And what might they not know about, or a misconception? They get their license and they say, oh, what should I do now? What would you advise them, Sandy?
Well, I think a lot of people get into the business thinking it's going to be an overnight success, and it's not. I mean, you're basically starting your own business. And I think they need to remember that it does take time to build that business, like any, profession that you start from the ground up. So I would say if you're really serious about it, just, give it your all. Don't give up, because there's, the statistics show that 2 out of every 10 real estate agents last longer than the first year. So it is very challenging.
And I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know that they realize all the work that you have to do. I mean, even when you get into negotiations and the emotions that come into play.
Right, absolutely. When your client is purchasing a home, that is probably the biggest investment they're ever going to make. And there's a lot of emotions involved in it. So yes, you have to be just very careful about how you treat your clients and how you handle every single situation. And
as we're almost at the end of the year. We have a few months left. As you have the feel there in the market you serve up there in Kingwood, what's your speculation? How do you think the year is going to play out as we're in the last few months or so?
Well, from what we've seen, it seems like the interest rates are going to be going up. So for the buyers out there that are thinking they might be wanting to buy over the next couple of years, I would say if you're on the fence, now would be a good time, because we don't know, how long it could be a year, but the interest rates are slowly creeping up.
Very nice. Sandy, would you tell people how they can reach you?
Absolutely. You can reach me on my cell phone number. I have it with me 24/7. My phone number is 713-503-8110. Again, the number is 713-503-8110.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Sandy. We're going to hear from Sandy a little bit later in the show. Sandy Brabham with Keller Williams Realty. We're going to take a short break. You're listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Your host, Bill Napick. We're coming back with even more.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Specialty Insurance has been doing that and more for over 10 years, and they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Visit StewartSpecialtyInsurance.com or call 866-845-4676. Stewart Specialty Insurance is here to help.
Stewart Title has been serving Texas for over 120 years. A Texas treasure, Stewart Title's longevity is a testimony to superior service, innovation, and knowing what their customers want. Recent surveys show that 92% of respondents want secure online tracking tools to help them during the closing process. Stewart Title offers the most robust and secure system to track transactions online available today. To learn more, contact Stewart Title at one of their many offices around the city. Stewart Title, online at stewart.com. That's STEWART.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, your host, Bill Napick, as the show rolls on, as we are prepared, learning from real estate professionals all the time. And we're getting some tips today about how they prepare and how important preparation is in the world of real estate here in Houston, Texas. Our next guest is Mary Herrera with On Q Financial. Mary, thank you and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Pretty exciting, huh?
Very exciting. This market is amazing.
As you're in the mortgage business, I think money is an exciting component. Money,
yes,
isn't it?
It's key. It's key.
People need it to buy, and they need it when they sell their home, too. Give us an idea, Mary, of your company and what you do for them.
Well, OnQ Financial is a mortgage banker, and what I do for them is I originate residential home loans. So our tagline is Mortgages Simplified. We strive to make the process as easy as possible because there's been a lot of changes after the mortgage meltdown, and it's a little more complicated now. So we want to make it easy.
Indeed, that is a great directive to have things simple, because just the real estate transaction to begin with has so many parts to it and so much paperwork as well.
That's right. That's right.
Give us an idea, Mary, the area of town. Do you serve a particular market here in the Houston area?
Well, we're required to be licensed. I'm licensed in the state of Texas, and I can serve the entire state. But I live in Houston, so that's my primary marketplace.
Now, as we mentioned, first of all, I love the name. I think that part of the answer to my question, what is distinctive about your company? And of course, that name just rings out. I think it's easy to remember, On Cue Financial.
Yes. Well, the reason I came to this company was actually because we have so many unique loan products. We have lots of unique jumbo loan products, and a jumbo loan is any loan amount that's over $417,000. We can do expatriate and foreign national financing. We can do non-warrantable condos, and we do reverse mortgages as well. So in addition to all of what we call the vanilla loans, which is FHA, VA, and conventional financing, we have these unique loan products that a lot of other companies don't offer.
Oh, that's very nice, too. Now, in the mortgage profession, how long have you been in this?
23 years. It's hard to believe. So I've seen a lot of changes in the industry.
You really have. And boy, as we talk about being prepared in the real estate transaction, as a mortgage professional, there's so many things you have to do to be prepared, right, to serve your clients.
That's right. And my parents told me when I was very young, my dad was an architect and he did a lot of construction. Measure twice, cut once. So that helped prepare me for a lot of things in life. And yeah, for a mortgage, it's the largest financial commitment one is going to make in their life. So you've got to be prepared.
Indeed. Now, if someone's out there thinking about buying a home and they need a loan to do so, what should they be thinking about to prepare for that loan?
Well, I think the biggest thing they need to think about is they really need to sit down and decide what their hot buttons are. So they need to consider what their budget is. What do they have to spend? Is the hot button that I have X number of dollars to lay out for the entire transaction? Or is it I cannot have a monthly payment over, X number of dollars? So they have to figure out their priorities. And then there's paperwork involved as well. So they need to be prepared to provide 30 days pay stubs, 2 years tax returns, 2 months of any asset statements. So that would be checking, savings, money market, 401k, things like that. Copy of their photo ID. And they need to be prepared or open to having their credit report checked.
No doubt about it. In fact, I might add something, too. They need to be organized, too, to have all this stuff at hand.
Very.
Because that way, if you're organized, now that could be another show, but I'm just saying that in life, if we keep things organized when it's time to buy that home and have these documents ready, boy, we can pull them out and say, hey, we're ready to go. And that way we can get the home that we want in the time we want.
Yes. And timing, especially with the changes that are coming in October, timing is of the essence. So you want to have great deal of organization.
Well, we have to be organized and prepared. And yes, there are changes coming in October. And what should people know? Just a few things. I mean, we can't go into detail, Mary, but what are the things that people, kind of some bullet points, the average person out there that's going to be buying a home after October, what should they know, if anything, about the process?
Well, I think the key is that time is of the essence. So they're combining some of the old disclosures and creating new disclosures. We, as mortgage bankers, are required to provide what is currently considered the settlement statement. Right now, we provide it 24 hours before closing. The new document is called the closing disclosure. We've got to get that to our consumers 3 days before closing. And so timing with each person involved in the transaction, starting with the real estate agent, the mortgage person, and the closing company, the title company, everybody needs to work in unison because we've got to know that, we've got the right fees to disclose in time as the mortgage person. We need the real estate agent to set the right expectation as far as how much time we need to close the transaction. And you need a dependable title company that will disclose fees or give us the fees so we can disclose in a timely fashion. So
I know a good title company.
I do too.
Stewart Title. and I don't know that I mentioned at the beginning of the show that we have locations all over Houston, 30 some. And in fact, a lot of people don't realize we are an international company with locations all over the United States. So if you're listening, and I might add that these changes that we're talking about take place all over the United States, so that if someone's listening in, who knows, Wyoming, Pennsylvania, they're going to be aware of these changes as they close that real estate transaction after October.
That's correct.
So, now, as you're out there in the marketplace and you see realtors, I know all the time, and even consumers, do people, let's look at the consumer out there, do they have an idea that there's changes taking place, or they're just more thinking about, well, I want a house of this price or this size and style?
I think it's a mix. And that's with people in the industry and the consumers. I don't know that the consumers, if they're actively involved in purchasing or selling a home, they probably are more aware of the changes that are forthcoming because they're mortgage people and their real estate agents are informing them. But I was at the gym the other day and spoke with an agent that had no idea what I was talking about when I brought it up. Yeah, so I said, it's coming quick. You need to get on board.
Yeah, that's called a red flag.
That would be a big red flag.
Big red flag, especially your real estate. Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, what is that?
That's wild. Well, what else should people know as we talk about the changes? Any other things that come to your mind that they may need to know?
Like I said, you want to be sure that you're aligned with a group of professionals that are on the same page about the changes. And what I mean by group working in synergy is your real estate agent, your title company, and your mortgage person. So those that have that experience together have the right expectation levels of each other.
Indeed, and as you said earlier, the realtor needs to make sure that the expectations are set, and they've always been doing that. It's just now that there's a new set of expectations.
That's right.
Indeed. Mary, would you tell people how they can reach you?
Yes. My mobile number, which I have 24/7 as well, is 832-741-9973. Again, 832-741-9973. And my website is Mary Herrera, that's ERRERA.ONQ Houston.com.
Very nice. Mary, and I love when the letter Q is used as well. 4 R's in Mary Herrera. Not that I'm counting, but
lots
Mary,
of R's.
I love that. Thank you for being on the show. We're going to hear also
you.
from Mary a little bit later. You're listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, your host, Bill Nampick, and we're going to come back with even more. Stay tuned.
Stewart Title has been serving Texas for over 120 years. A Texas treasure, Stewart Title's longevity is a testimony to superior service, innovation, and knowing what their customers want. Recent surveys show that 92% of respondents want secure online tracking tools to help them during the closing process. Stewart Title offers the most robust and secure system to track transactions online available today. To learn more, contact Stewart Title at one of their many offices around the city. Stewart Title, online at stewart.com. That's STEWART.com.
And welcome back, everyone. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, your host, Bill Nampick, and we have another guest as we talk about being prepared. I do want to say the idea of being prepared. I love the United States Coast Guard's motto. I know one person in this room knows about it besides me, and their motto is Semper Paratus. That means always prepared. That's a super idea. We're always prepared, and we're prepared right now to introduce our next guest to you. He is the godfather of real estate, or so he's known on the Real Estate Rat Pack, Mr. Rob Cook. He is with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Anderson Properties. Rob, thank you and welcome to the show.
I am so impressed that you did it twice. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Anderson Properties. Good job.
That's a lot of words.
That's a lot of words. You got to answer the phone a couple of times with that.
I'm sure they do. In the meantime, well, Rob, first of all, give the people listening an idea. You do so many things, and of course, our show is heard a lot on the website, but it's heard at the time of broadcast here at 1 o'clock Saturdays. But sometimes the people that hear us also have heard your show at 9 a.m. on the same channel, the Real Estate Rat Pack.
That's correct. We're at 9 o'clock Saturday mornings, and it's live. And we have a call-in number, so if anyone wants to call in, it's 800-808-5548.
There you go. They can jot that down for next week.
That's right.
And that's great. So, and we like the idea of providing real estate information on the radio, as you do, and we weave it through the whole day, 9 o'clock, 1 o'clock, so that's great. Give us an idea also, in addition to your hosting responsibilities on the Real Estate Rat Pack, and they can go, what is it, the realestateratpack.com too?
It's realestateratpack.com. You go online and see all our past shows.
Now, what else do? You do so many things around the world of real estate here. You've done so many things, but give us an idea about what you
Well,
have
I still
done
do a
and
lot of volunteerism with HAR, which is the Houston Association of Realtors, Texas Association of Realtors, and National Association of Realtors. So I stay involved with that, and I will continue to do so. And it has made me a better and more knowledgeable realtor in the marketplace. But as a job description, kind of a Swiss Army knife. My actual title is for mergers and acquisitions for Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Anderson Properties. I got that in twice already.
There you go.
I look for talent to recruit.
Swiss Army
yes,
knife. I like that.
And I've served for the Texas Association of Realtors for 20 years on professional standards. I'm the immediate past chairman for professional standards. So in my company, what happens is that we have legal and ethic issues or arbitral issues where people are arguing about money. I'm their go-to guy on that.
A lot of knowledge in real estate, and you've seen a lot of changes here in Houston throughout your career.
I don't even say how many years anymore, but it's 30 plus years. I survived the 80s, and of course the 80s downturn was far more severe than we saw in 2008, although 2008 was quite a glitch. And we're seeing some changes in the market right now as well. It's because MLS data is about to be released, and we've actually had, for the first time, negative job growth in Houston. And so we're actually not creating as many jobs as we're losing. Dallas is now number one in job creation, and Midland is number two, percentage-wise.
Very interesting. So embellish that, if you would, a little bit, Rob. Give us your perspective from all the information that you gather from HAR and the national agencies. What is your perspective on the market right now, and how's it going to play out?
Well, the perspective is we're finally catching up with inventory. We're up 21% with our inventory. And what that's translating to, there's still pockets. You get the areas like Kingwood or in the Woodlands and Katy, which are big transfer markets, a lot of relo people in those areas. Those are still pretty hot. But you get some areas inside the loop where the over 500,000, they're overbuilt. There's about an 8-month supply of that. So it's impacting the market. We're hovering as a broad brush whole about 4 months supply of homes, which is healthy markets about 6 months supply.
So still a seller's market?
Still a seller's market. However, it's going to be shifting. We are losing jobs in the oil patch, basically. And a lot of engineers are being laid off right now as oil prices drop. The smaller companies can't afford to keep people on. Big companies, it's not impacting them much. But you're going to see some of the big companies swallow up some of the small companies.
How do you see it play out? So for the next couple months, the end of the year, and as we start 2016, what if you were to predict and speculate? What do you?
I would tell everybody to get out and buy a house right now. They've had pressure to keep the interest rates low for artificially for a very long time. The Fed was about to raise them this month, and you saw what happened to the stock market. It did a pogo stick all week long. And so the Fed's got to see what happens when they start even talking about raising interest rates. So I think interest rate's going to stay low. And I think it's still, we were selling real estate at 18% interest. And people nowadays, if it goes to 4.25, they go into a panic. It's an exceptional time to buy and sell a house.
It really is. Now, also, in addition, you also do you teach MCE classes around the city.
Correct.
Give us an idea of the menu of
well, these are the classes
courses
that everyone has to take to renew their license. It's not classes. That's usually the first question I ask them. I said, who all here wants to be here? Nobody ever raised their hand, but I always get a nice chuckle out of that. It's legal and ethics. It's a 6-hour requirement to renew a license, either for a salesperson or a broker, either one. And the broker has to take broker responsibility, which is a 6-hour class. And so those are 12 hours that they absolutely have to take. So I try to make it fun and entertaining when I do that. And I have to make it fun and entertaining for myself as well.
Indeed. No, I mean, and that's your middle name, Fun and Entertainment.
Fun and Entertainment.
Now,
I put the fun in dysfunction.
Now, well, there you go. Now, another thing.
We just lost Sigmund.
Another thing I noticed about you, Rob, through the years as I've known you, and I think this is certainly a credit, and that is you know about all the real estate events around town, not just in the center part of Houston, but and attend almost all of them.
I attend as many as I can.
First of all, how do you know about them all? And two, how do you keep such a busy schedule?
Well, actually, Facebook, social media is a great way to find out what's happening in Houston. There's usually, events going on that are public events that are real estate related. So I try to make all those because I'm about building community. In fact, our show is basically about building community because, like you, we bring on experts and we build relationships with them.
Indeed. One of the things I say about this show on the air all the time is that as we build up our archives and talk to so many interesting people, informative people, even entertaining people, man, you can go to that archive and there's a vault of knowledge there. There truly is. I mean, on our show, we've had Ted C. Jones. You've had some great guests on your show as well. And you can go back, and even with real estate professionals, sometimes we talk to the real estate professional about how they excel, how they take their business up a notch, so that realtor that's just learning can go back and listen to these shows, and I think get their knowledge in place and get ahead of the game.
It is a great source of information. And and we do like to have fun on the show, but the thing is we also want to get out great information at the same time, and they're not mutually exclusive, so it's okay to have fun and give some great facts.
Exactly, because let's face it, if you just sit there and read the facts, here's the market, no one's going to listen. You have to have some fun along the way, no question about it. Speaking of preparation and radio shows, how do you all prepare for the real estate rap? Give us a behind the scenes.
The behind the scenes is we show up at 8:30 and we start talking about it at that time, and we really are about spontaneity. And again, we're bringing on experts in their fields. What do they need to prepare for? They already know everything that we're going to ask them. And so we often talk about the one thing I love about realtors is that they've usually had another career. We have from all walks of life.
You mean before they became a realtor?
Before they became a realtor. Although I did have somebody on the guest last week that right out of college they became a realtor, and I go, wow. There's somebody that goes, I'd like to starve for about a year or two and then start making some money. Because a lot of people were in oil field, or they're attorneys or doctors, but they had a past career. So it makes it really eclectic collection of people, which just is amazing to hear their stories.
And knowing so much about real estate and being involved for so many years, what advice would you give someone that just got their credentials in real estate and wanted to start, or they come to you and they say, hey, Rob, I want to be a part of Berkshire Hathaway, and what advice do you give them?
Regardless of what company you go with, make sure it's a company that gives great training. And I know Keller Williams, I'm a recovering team leader from Keller Williams. Recovering team leader. And they're a great company, but they actually like to call themselves a training company that also does real estate. We do great training. A lot of the majors do training. And unfortunately, I see a lot of people get out of the real estate school, think they can do real estate, but they haven't got a clue, because school only teaches you one thing, which is how to pass the test. There's no real practical application of what they're learning into the real world. And I think most people would back me up on that statement, because they've had to deal with these people who come out no training and they're trying to do business. And so get great training.
Now, Rob, if people want to know more about Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Anderson Properties,
a hat trick. That's 3 times. That was really cool.
If they want to know more about the company and about the Real Estate Rap Pack, give us the coordinates, please.
You can contact me on my cell phone, 281-543-0527. I don't answer it 24/7, by the way.
Do I, yeah.
But anyway, 281-543-0527. I'll be happy to answer any kind of questions you have.
Very nice. And check out the Rat Pack at 9 a.m. on 100.7 FM. Thank you, Rob Cook. He's coming back, Bill, too. In the meantime, we're going to take a short break. You're listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Your host, Bill Napick. Until we meet at the other side of the break.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Specialty Insurance has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Visit StewartSpecialtyInsurance.com or call 866-845-4676. Stewart Specialty Insurance is here to help.
Stewart Title has been serving Texas for over 120 years. A Texas treasure, Stewart Title's longevity is a testimony to superior service, innovation, and knowing what their customers want. Recent surveys show that 92% of respondents want secure online tracking tools to help them during the closing process. Stewart Title offers the most robust and secure system to track transactions online available today. To learn more, contact Stewart Title at one of their many offices around the city. Stewart Title, online at Stewart.com. That's STEWART.com.
back, everyone. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Tyler. We're talking about preparation. And boy, one of the subjects we have to prepare for is to have our insurance, to have our risk management in place. Stewart Specialty Insurance Services can help you with that. Mr. Kent Adams, you can call him and he'll help you. Welcome to the show, Kent.
Thank you, Bill. It's great to be here.
First of all, tell people, give them a general idea of what you do at Stewart Specialty Insurance Services.
Well, what I personally do is I'm on the commercial team and work with a lot of realtors, real estate, work with builders, anything real estate that matters. We can go ahead and help you with. Stewart Specialty Insurance was designed in order to make the real estate transaction work in conjunction with the home buyer, the title company, the mortgage company. It's a really important factor in today's market. The flood zone determinations, we can run flood quotes for you. Windstorm, Harris, Fort Bend County are extremely tough markets, especially with some of the older homes. Fortunately, we work with over 300 different companies across the United States and even all the way to the UK in order to find the best rates, the best coverage, the best protection. Really, the thing you need to be prepared is just call us at 866-798-2827, and we'll have a trained professional ready, standing by in order to answer all your questions and go ahead and get those quotes ready for you, because that's another part of the financial transaction. Some of the homes today are costing over $3,000 to insure. We want to make sure that that's going to fit into your budget as well.
Yeah, that makes me feel like I'm getting a break on my insurance because I don't pay that much, but almost.
Yeah, Bill, that's because you're insured with us. We went ahead and reviewed it for you and saved you money.
You did. In fact, I tell people all the time, I have my home, my auto. I have an umbrella policy with Stewart Specialty Insurance Services, and it's because you do such great work. I can talk to people. I can get straight answers. I don't want to read the policy, so you guys help me with that, as you do a lot of other people.
Insurance isn't very glamorous. Some people don't think about us. They don't keep us out on their coffee tables, just having nice little picture books that they have out there. It's one of the last things that they really want to think about, yet it's one of the most expensive things that you're going to have outside of your mortgage payment or maybe your car payment that you really, really want to be protected, because there's so many different areas of exposure that you're opening yourself up to in the home. Besides having liability, do you have a pool? Are you going to have a trampoline with kids? Do you have any kind of unnecessary nuisances that are attracting people? Kids today, they're wanting to be either indoors playing a video game, or like mine, they were outdoors playing on skateboard ramps and jumping and doing all kinds of things that really bring that liability to you. That's a really important piece as well, is what kind of coverage you're going to have in every area of your life.
Indeed. And gosh, Kent, you mentioned the word trampolines. I can't not mention and encourage people to go to the YouTube videos. Just type in YouTube, dogs on trampolines. I guarantee you will laugh. They got these dogs that jump on trampolines all the time, and they're having fun.
Well, you should see the people that put the trampoline next to the pool.
Well, we talk about risk management. We don't advise anyone to do that under any circumstances. But one of the things I also say here on the show is people, and we're glad they know about Stewart Title. We've been in business over 122 years. That's staggering. And we are known for stability, financial strength. We're rated, as your company is, with the highest of ratings, not because we say so, but because third-party companies rate us. Companies like Demotech, AM Best, we have high ratings. And I tell them about that. People know about Stewart Title, but sometimes, even though you have been in business, Stewart Specialty Insurance Services, for over 10 years, sometimes people forget that we have the basics, home, auto, and that's why you sponsor the show, right?
Absolutely, Bill. And, myself personally, I've got over 12 years. We have staff that over 25 years in the business. Everybody in our office is trained, a trained professional, and we send them to schools. We have in-house training. We're constantly looking over various policy forms that are changing. This is a really important contract that you're getting into when you do purchase insurance, whether it's commercial, residential, something that you're doing for your boat, your cats. We have pet insurance. You got health insurance. You got all kinds of different insurance options that are available to you. And having an independent agent, we can go ahead and shop these things across the country for you and find the fit. And we write homes in Florida, California, Texas, New York, every state. So a lot of our clients, too, have homes in multiple places. We can handle that for them. They don't have to go to different places. We're the professional across the whole United States.
And I think that also is one of the reasons your people are so knowledgeable, because they have a broad understanding of insurance and the different needs around the country.
It's absolutely true. We're licensed in all these states. We have to have continuing education, as I heard earlier, for realtors. We have 33 hours that we have to complete every 2 years, every single one of us, and we have to go ahead and coach one another, train one another. If we do have somebody who's maybe stumped on a question, we've got a whole team there waiting in order to support you. When your insurance comes up for renewal, a lot of things have changed over the year. Maybe you've added jewelry, bought a pet, done different things. We want to go ahead and we're going to do a Stewart annual review with you in order to be prepared for your renewal so we can, again, shop it, find the best coverage with the best premiums for you. So we're not going to leave you hanging out there. We do that in advance, and I don't know too many insurance agents that are out there calling their customers 60 days before the renewal in order to do that with them.
And if I don't, now I do have the Stewart Specialty Insurance Services all the way around, as mentioned, but let's say someone's listening that doesn't. Now, do you do a review with them as well if they're with another carrier?
That's what we ask them to do, is if they can go ahead and get prepared, as we're talking about, with their declarations page. Even if they don't have it, we'll go ahead and review all the questions with them, find out what's important to them, go through these different options with our customer profile in order to find the areas that we want to go ahead and point out to them that they're leaving themselves exposed to. So we are going to do a review on it with every single client, one-on-one. We're not just doing a generic thing that you're going to check off a few boxes and be done with it. You've got a professional that's there to help you every step of the way.
Well, it's interesting, too. As we leave the house, or even if we didn't leave the house every day, life has risk. And I think a good way to think about it is think about life as risk management. So when we go out there, our homes, our cars, all this stuff, we have to be prepared for that risk.
It is. You can be out boating on beautiful Lake Houston and Kingwood. You can be at the beach. You can be anywhere, and things are going to happen. Things in life are going to happen. We want to get out there and enjoy all those things, all the toys that we've accumulated, whether it's a jet ski, a boat, something that we're towing. Maybe you're a camper. You're somebody who wants to travel across the United States. Insurance laws change as you cross state borders. You move from Texas into Louisiana, going all the way down to Florida. Maybe you're going to see Disney World. You have things that you've taken with you, things that are in your car, things that are in your motorhome. Who's going to cover that? If your motorhome gets broken into, is that going to be a homeowner's claim? Is that an auto claim? Whatever you have, we want to go ahead and make sure that you're covered all the way. And if you're getting ready for the Christmas season and you buy those special jewelry items, a lot of times people will be buying expensive rings or
they might buy the Apple Watch.
By the Apple Watch, we can go ahead and schedule different types of electronics. That's a whole nother area where a lot of people have tens of thousands of dollars in their electronics today, and they can schedule that on their homeowner's policy. They don't have to buy individual insurance with different carriers. They can go ahead and get that all covered right here with Stewart Specialty Insurance.
Very nice, Kent. Now, we've talked about a lot of things in the insurance world, and tell people the website once again and how they can reach you so they can get the full menu, because you cover so much, too much to talk about in this kind of time segment. Tell us
we do
again.
cover that all on our website at StewartSpecialtyInsurance.com. That's StewartSpecialtyInsurance.com, or just call us at 866-798-2827. We don't have any machines. You're not going to be left on hold. Nobody's going to ask you to punch 1, 2, 3, 5, 9, 11. You're just going to go ahead and get answered by a live person, Jennifer, myself, Lena, Shannon, Michelle. Somebody's going to answer that phone, and we're going to direct you to the right person and answer your questions at 866-798-2827.
And getting that great phone service is such a rarity these days. Thank you, Mr. Kent Adams with Stewart Specialty Insurance Services. And thank you, Mr. Tom Carpentier, the president of Stewart Specialty Insurance Services, leading the company in a magnificent way.
Thanks for a great show, Bill.
We're going to take a short break and come back with even more. You're listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stay tuned.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Specialty Insurance has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Visit StewartSpecialtyInsurance.com or call 866-845-4676. Stewart Specialty Insurance is here to help.
And welcome back, everyone. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I want to tell you, Stewart, we are all over Houston to serve you, all over the United States. And one of the things we have, of course, we have great escrow officers in all our offices, but we also have, they're known as business development officers. In fact, I am a radio host, but also a business development officer. And today we have in the studio one of our business development officers from the Kingwood, Atascocita area. His name is Steve Sheeny. Steve.
Hey, how you doing today, Bill?
Pretty exciting. And you're up there in the livable forest, too.
That's right. The beautiful place.
Well, we thank you so much for bringing Sandy on the show. Wasn't she a great guest?
Fantastic.
Unbelievable. Well, we appreciate that. Steve, would you give us an idea? If someone wants that super closing, and I know they do when they close those deals in the Kingwood, Atascocita area, tell people how they can reach Stewart Title if they want to set up a closing there.
Well, you can reach out to me at 281-299-8328, or you can email me at steve.sheeny@stewart.com, and that's SCHIENI.
And I want to tell you, I've been to our office in Kingwood. It is a beautiful office, great escrow officers. I mean, they're ready for action, right?
Very proactive, and that's the key. We spoil our realtors.
And that's a great theme there, too. And once again, the phone number, Steve?
281-299-8328.
And thank you so much for bringing Sandy on the show. And here comes Sandy again, Sandy Brabham with Keller Williams Realty up there in the Kingwood, Atascocita area. Well, Sandy, what do you think? A great show so far, huh?
Yes, lots of fun. Thank you for inviting me.
And we have a few minutes left, but give us an idea once again. Tell us about a little bit more that we might not have touched upon about Keller Williams and also your services up there.
Yeah, well, if you're out there and you've been listening to the show and you're thinking about maybe buying, selling, or investing in a home, when you go to choose your real estate agent, just remember that, with me, you're not just choosing one agent, you're actually choosing an entire team. Our team really focuses, the Tracy Montgomery team, we really focus on our client service. That's very, very important to us. And we are not happy until our clients are 100% satisfied.
You got to have that team. It takes, I said it a million times, it takes teamwork to make the dream work.
Absolutely. Yes, it does.
And that's great. And I think a lot of times people don't realize not only all the stuff, as I've mentioned before, that the realtor is prepared for and that the realtor does, but also the coordination in terms of the team, like at Keller Williams that you're describing, but also you also have another team, the team of professionals that you choose to use, people like title companies, people like mortgage professionals, home inspectors.
Yes, we do. And we try to spread our business a little bit out with the different title companies and stuff, but we have our close ones that we work with that we absolutely love. And I think it's very important with your lenders, title companies, whoever you're doing business with, it's important to build that relationship.
Indeed it is. And we're so glad that Steve chose you out of all the realtors in Kingwood. Do you feel special?
Yes, I do feel special. Thank you, guys.
Well, we're so honored that you're here. And once again, give them the phone number, Sandy, where they can reach you.
You can reach me at 713-503-8110. Once again, it's 713-503-8110.
You know, I can't think of anything better than driving through the livable forest, listening to this show, and hearing you talk about Kingwood.
Yes, it's awesome. I really like a Kingwood, Atascocita area, and I think you would too.
Indeed. Now, here she is back again, Mary Herrera with On Q Financial. Welcome back, Mary.
Thank you.
Very exciting. Yeah, the mortgage, I don't know if the rates went up or down during the course of the show, but they're probably just the same, maybe, huh?
Yeah,
who knows?
It's always an exciting roller coaster, and that's what I did want to touch on before we end.
Yes.
Is, interest rates are still at historic lows. People get a little crazy if they go up to 4 or 4 something, but that's still, historically speaking, a very low interest rate. And I just wanted to tell people now is the time to get off the fence, because when rates go up, your buying power goes down, and it can be significant in qualifying. So you want to get pre-qualified before you go out and shop for a home. You want to know what you can afford. And
of course, you help people with that.
Yes,
right?
and I will be happy to help anybody with that. I like to consult with my clients up front and have a discussion about needs and wants and all of those things that the agents discuss as well. But the other thing I wanted to mention is that the mortgage market has changed significantly. So the other day I got a phone call from somebody that said, I'm just calling to see what your 30-year fixed rate is today. Well, it doesn't work that way in this market anymore. There is no generic rate. Interest rates are very consumer specific. There are over 20 some odd criteria that go into determining what the interest rate is. So you can't gauge your rate on what your neighbor's rate is. It's very consumer specific. So you need to have a mortgage professional that is going to consult with you before they start quoting interest rates in order to be accurate. And you want to be as accurate as you can so you know what your budget is.
And Mary, would you tell people how they can reach you?
Again, my phone number is 832-741-9973. OnQ Financials NMLS, that's our license number, is 5645, and my state license number, NMLS number, is 221177.
Very nice. Thank you, Mary Herrera with OnQ Financial. And now, Mr. Rob Cook, here he is. Rob, I'll tell you, always interesting. We always learn. And boy, again, I'm amazed at all the stuff the real estate professional, the mortgage professional has to have, and even the insurance professionals. They got know a lot of stuff.
Absolutely. And there's something kind of recurring theme on our show is we always talk about hiring a professional. And the statement I always like to make is, if you think hiring a professional is expensive, hire an amateur. And, that's especially aimed at the millennials and the Xers out there who want to do things themselves. I promise you, get a professional. And if you look at NAR statistics, if you're selling a home, they found out that you get 17% more you hiring a realtor.
Interesting.
That more than covers the cost of commission.
Now, also, go back, if you would, as far as HR, how many realtors are in Houston? And how do you define the Houston area when we say that?
We cover 7 counties. And so that's kind of the Houston MSA, and we've gone statewide now as well. So we have people in Austin and Dallas and things that belong to HAR. But in Houston, we have just a shade under 30,000. And if you take all the affiliate memberships, we're 31,000.
That's a lot. And how can people reach you should they want to give you a call?
They can reach me at 281-543-0527.
And again, listen to the Real Estate Rat Pack at 9 o'clock on 100.7 FM Saturdays, or go to any real estate event and you'll see Rob Cook there.
And don't forget, KKHD.com. You can hear it live streaming.
There you go. You've got it. And now, Mr. Ken Adams, give us the coordinates of Stewart Specialty Insurance Services one more time, just because we love the sound of it.
You can reach us at StewartSpecialtyInsurance.com. But, I wanted to comment on the interest rates and consumer costs there. I paid 14% on my very first mortgage. That was astronomical, but at the time it was a competitive rate. So give us a call at StewartSpecialtyInsurance.com at 866-798-2827, and we'll take care of all your insurance needs.
And thank you, Ken Adams. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. And we mentioned this show being a resource and other real estate shows being a resource as well. Go to Stewart.com/Houston, Stewart.com/Houston. That is the archive where you can find all the shows, over 85 shows. They're all there. Plenty of great guests. You can hear this show again and again. Stewart.com/Houston. In the meantime, if you ever want to call me, I've got a phone too. It's not on 24 hours, but it's 713-210-9767. Again, 713-210-9767. Thank you again, Mr. Steve Sheeny, for bringing Sandy on the show. And until next week, you're listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, your host, Bill Napick. And you can hear the show again next week at the same time or on the website, Stewart.com/Houston. We'll see you later. Till next week. Semper Paratus, as the Coast Guard says, be prepared.